Florida trying to end it up against the wall, which would be fitting. 3 seconds to go. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup. For the first time in their 30-year history, the Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions. They made it about as hard on themselves as they possibly could, battling a valiant Edmonton team that had rallied from adversity all season long. And Paul Maurice, coaching lifer, 30 years in the National Hockey League, has his Stanley Cup.
Here's your host of What the Puck is Going On, Dave Metzger.
All right, welcome back in Tuesday, March 10th, into the Deep End Broadcasting Studios. Got a nice slate of hockey tonight, but first, we need to talk playoffs, wild card, everything in between. Steve, let's go ahead and first off, how are you this afternoon?
Doing good, David. Excited for a good night of hockey, and let's see who blows it tonight. I know I texted you last night after the Capitals gave up 3 consecutive goals to blow a 3-0 lead in the second period, only to outdo themselves by scoring 4 more themselves. But moral of the story is, and I think you can agree with a lot of these games, no lead is safe. No lead is safe in this league.
No, not at all. And, that is a feisty Calgary team, though. They were saying that in the broadcast pretty much all night long because they were down to Carolina in their last game, Steve, at home. And they came back to beat them. And so they have some real feistiness going on there, as bad as it is for Calgary, not a playoff contender. But yeah, I mean, no lead is safe at all. You look at the game the other night between Buffalo and Tampa Bay.
Oh my goodness.
Buffalo was, I mean, that was the craziest game I've seen in a while. Buffalo looked like they were going to blow the doors clean off of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay said, not so fast. And then Buffalo said, well, you know what? Not so fast. An 8-7 absolute thriller there.
Not to mention all the fights too, Dave. I don't know if you saw the highlights of the eruption of fights that they had there in the first period. But if these two teams are to meet in the playoffs, I mean, this is a nice, fresh new rivalry. We don't think of Tampa Bay and Buffalo as being at each other's throats, really. But that was a insane as far as the brawls went on Sunday. And if these two are going to link up in the playoffs, watch out.
Oh, absolutely. I believe it was, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was something wild, like 10 fights almost.
Right.
It was just craziness. What a game to watch. Just a instant classic there. So in the East, we have the Atlantic, and we'll just go here in the playoff picture. I don't think we need to really go through the whole divisions here anymore at this point in time. So Buffalo, they are leading the Atlantic with 84. Second, you have Tampa with 82. And then Detroit with 79. So there's your top 3 in the Atlantic. And, Steve, that's anybody's division at this point.
Yes. I mean, still up for grabs. And you still have some good numbers available on some of these teams.
Oh, yeah.
Even Buffalo is paying plus money in first place right now.
As good as they look, Steve, they're going to get thrown in with some futures tickets. We're going to cross up hockey and March Madness and see what we can't cook up there. But Buffalo's going to find their way onto some futures tickets. I mean, they're just as hot as can be. I don't think they've lost, at least not at home, since damn near Thanksgiving, I believe.
Yeah, and to their credit, not really. I mean, I think everyone thought they were going to be improved for sure. I mean, they've missed out on the playoffs just about every year now for forever, it seems like. I forget exactly how long they've been out of it. But they've changed that this year. I mean, they've been as solid as a rock when you need a team to bet on.
Oh, absolutely. So I love the Atlantic here. What a race we have there. Into the Metro, we have Carolina leading this division with 86. It looks like they might kind of run away with things now. I had Pittsburgh on a futures ticket. They're second with 78, so not impossible. You got to figure that's a lot to ask for, especially with a couple key injuries there in Pittsburgh. The Islanders with 77, so we still have the battle for second and third. And Steve, what's going to be the most important thing about that? That's going to be the home ice advantage battle between the 2 and the 3, because that's going to be the matchup when the bracket comes out. So what are your thoughts here in the top 3?
Yeah, the odd ways the NHL seeds these teams come playoff time. We've talked about that.
I hate it. I wish it was the 1 through 8 old school.
Right. And Carolina is running away with things, 7-2-1 in their last 10. They got that 8-point lead. You figure if they go 500 the rest of the way, Pittsburgh or the Islanders would have to win about 75% of their games. Highly unlikely that's the case. So Carolina looks like a shoo-in at this point. And yeah, I mean, these two, it probably will come down to the end with Pittsburgh and the Islanders, both against surprise teams. A lot of surprise teams here in the East. We're going to have a completely different makeup than what we've had in years past here as far as the playoffs are concerned.
Oh, yeah, all across the board, too, in the West as well. So, Steve, your 2 wild card teams in the East right now, Montreal with 78 and Boston with 76. And then we have Columbus with 74, nipping at their heels. Even Ottawa there with 73 is still alive. Somehow, and this could change tonight, Washington's really going to need some help in 3 of these games tonight. But even they're still hanging around somehow. Philly has 69, so they're not all the way out of it, but you got to figure that's going to be a lot to ask for. And then New Jersey and Florida with 65. That's just going to be too much for them to overcome. So, Steve, you have really, I guess you could say Washington as the third team, and it definitely 2, but a possible third still in the mix there.
Yeah, but even if they got to jump a team like Ottawa, who's been red hot, I mean, they're really going to have to depend on maybe someone like Boston falling apart, Columbus.
That's what it's going to take.
Again, Ottawa, 3 wins in a row for them, 7-1-2. I don't know what it is about this time of the year for the Senators, but they really seem to embrace it and really get hot at the right time for their team. The Capitals just look slow on the ice compared to some of these younger teams. They really do. They
absolutely.
They turn the puck over way too much for easy goals the other way to me. Just not quick. They got to find some youth and insert that into their lineup. And maybe that first move with John Carlson being sent to Anaheim, which I think is actually a great addition for Anaheim, to be honest. It gives Carlson some new life as well. I think that's probably the first step in trying to get this team towards a youth movement.
And they get a good return for him. I know nobody, including myself, it's just so hard to see a guy like him go. But it really does make sense at the end of the day, with contract and age of John Carlson. So it's really good for the Ducks. It's good for Washington. They get back really good draft capital. So if they want to make a move in the summer, I think they're going to have some room to do that with a little bit of cap space. Or, they can go into the draft with some really good picks. So it's just an unfortunate trade, the business of the NHL. But I do think both teams at the end of the day will benefit from that trade.
And I'll say this too again, and it's been like this all year, but 12 points from top to bottom here and from 1 through 8. I mean, that is the slimmest of margins. I'm not sure we've ever had it this tight across the board, where, if you're in 8th spot, you just win a few games, you find yourself up in the 3rd spot all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You're Tampa and you lose, the 5-5 Tampa right now. It's not playing their best here in their last 10. They get a losing streak. Then they're going to fall points behind some of these other teams behind them.
Yeah, I mean, the margin for error is next to zero at this point in the season. All right, so in the West, let's go Central. Colorado, surprise, surprise, in first place with 95 points. That's going to be the Central Division winner in my eyes. That's going to be a lot for Dallas to kind of catch up there. They're in second, Dallas Stars with 88, and then Minnesota with 85. So, Steve, I would venture to say Minnesota at Dallas is going to be your first-round matchup, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame that one of those teams is going to lose in the first round.
Right.
It's just the NHL is trying to make rivalries the last how many ever years they've been doing this playoff seeding, and it's just terrible. They don't need to create rivalries. They're already out there. It's just awful that one of those two teams is going home in the first round. But, Steve, that's your Central 1 through 3. What are your thoughts?
I mean, and it's the conference 1 through 3. And like you said, it's crazy. I hope they revisit this in the offseason and try to get back to this 1 through 8. I thought there was a time Dallas and Minnesota would potentially even catch up to Colorado. Colorado looked like they had a lead that they could not give up, but they were on the verge of giving it up, but now able to string some more wins together, 5 in a row for them. They're not exactly running away from the competition. I mean, Dallas still 9-0-1 for them in their last 10. Minnesota 7-2-1. One of those losses to Colorado in overtime. They're keeping them at arm's length at least, but arguably maybe the 3 best teams in the NHL, all in the Central Division.
Absolutely. I 100% agree, Steve. So in the Pacific, how about this? We got the Ducks back into the first place with 73 points.
I think someone on the show called to come mid to late March, and it's even sooner than that, I would say, that Vegas would relinquish their lead in the Pacific. And here we are, the Ducks on top.
Yep, absolutely. That was said. I do believe you are correct. Vegas has 72, so they're right behind them. Figure we'll kind of see that flip-flop maybe a couple more times. But I think Anaheim at the end of the day really could win this division. Edmonton has 70, so they're not out of the question either, but I just really kind of see them staying where they are. And you know what's funny, Steve, is, and I'm sure you've heard this and seen it, but these teams in the Pacific, if they were Eastern teams, they wouldn't even be in the playoffs right now.
Right.
So that's kind of the Pacific Division there for you. I like Anaheim, but at the end of the day, can they get hot enough to compete with those other 3 teams coming out of the Central? I just think it's going to be really difficult for anybody in the Pacific to really kind of make a deep run. So what are your thoughts there?
That's when a guy like Karlsson may come into play. He's going to have that experience in the locker room where that experience isn't really around. You still have these 2 young bucks in Gauthier and Seneca who can light up the scoreboard. So if they could just get hot and adapt to playoff hockey, then I think they can compete and be just fine. But you're right, Dave. This Ducks team might not be exactly built for the playoffs. They might get into this first round and kind of see how things really are, and that might be it for them. But we shall see. I give credit to a couple of these Pacific teams, though, at the end of the day. I mean, teams like Seattle having a very, very nice season. Even San Jose, who has a tough matchup tonight, and they're on the outside looking in as well at this point, and they've kind of leveled off. But they still have 30 wins to 25 losses in regulation. So you got to give them credit. The Kings are trying to charge hard here as of late as well. Now even Edmonton, 4-6 in their last 10, but looking a little bit better maybe. At least they're starting to score a little bit more, and maybe their playoff legs are starting to come to life here as well.
Yes, we definitely shall see. Wild card in the West, Utah with 73, and I think they're going to be the first wild card team. They seem primed to make it this year. We'll see what happens down the stretch, but the next team, Seattle, is 6 points off of them. So that's a nice little cushion to have there in the wild card. Seattle with 67 points is your second wild card team. Teams hanging around, San Jose just on the outside with 66. LA with 66. They're saying, hey, don't forget about us. And then how about Nashville making a bit of a surge? 64. So, they're hanging around that second wild card spot. So we could see some contention for that last spot out there, Steve.
Yeah, I expect it to come down somewhat close towards the end. I don't think any of these teams are really going to run away from each other at the end of the day. So it'll be nice. And it should be fun to take it in down the road. Seattle has that something about Seattle. They have a good goalie. They grind you out defensively. I get it. They're 5-5 in their last 10. But even if they get in there, I would be really wary of that team just because they play that kind of unique, grinded out type of Florida Panther style hockey that could give these teams trouble. So just don't forget about them when it gets down to the final 8 here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's going to shake up to be a nice playoffs here, I think. We're going to see what happens down the stretch. All right, Steve, let's get into the slate. We got a lot to go over here. And we've got puck drop coming up soon. So let's see what we can find here in this short amount of time. We'll start off with Pittsburgh traveling to Carolina to take on the Canes. Over under here, 6.5 plus 110 for the over, minus 130 for the under. You're going to have Pittsburgh at plus 170 on the money line, while the Hurricanes are minus 205. Let's see who the goalies are tonight. I have Stuart Skinner in goal for Pittsburgh, Frederick Anderson in goal for Carolina. Oh, man, interesting matchup there. I think it's going to go to Carolina. I don't know, Steve. At the end of the day, why do I see a 4-3, 5-3 type of game? Hurricanes squeak it out. Over 6.5 is my call.
Think of it this way: Pittsburgh is the team trailing the Canes here in that division. So this basically can be your pseudo de facto division clincher, almost in a way, with about 20 games to play. Only because they're going to stretch this points lead out even if greater than what it is now. It's going to make it really hard for Pittsburgh to catch up to Carolina. So if I were the Hurricanes, I would look at this almost as a division clinching scenario. You know that they know this. You know that these points were huge tonight for them, even to get them in regulation. So I expect a Class A effort from the Hurricanes. Pittsburgh should have a decent crowd here. I mean, they will travel well. But again, it's life without Sidney Crosby. There is no Malkin as well. So outmanned, I probably tend to think so. And I would lean definitely with Carolina in this scenario.
All right. Next up, we have Buffalo. They are at home versus the Sharks. 6.5 is your number here, minus 125 for the over, plus 105 for the under. Your Sharks are going to be plus 170 on the money line. Actually, exact same numbers as the game we just talked about. Buffalo minus 205 at home. So your goalies tonight, Askarov is in goal for San Jose, and Alex Lyon in goal for Buffalo. Steve, this is just a tough ask for the Sharks going up against this absolute buzzsaw in Buffalo. The Sharks, maybe they get a couple of their own. Sabres, nice home showing. Give me over 6.5 again, minus 125.
I'll take Buffalo here. I'll take them on the puck line as well. This is going to be a tough spot for San Jose, like you said. Who wants us to get in front of this freight train with the Sabres? And they're high in life too, especially after that big win, like you said, 8-7 the other day on Sunday. So they had a day to kind of chill out, relax. Now they have San Jose coming in here. And again, I think the Sabres able probably to flex their muscles. If you want to just play it straight up, don't get fancy, no 60-minute line, no puck line, and take Buffalo and Carolina together, you'll get plus 120 on the money line for both of those teams just to win.
No, you know what? I like that. All right, Tampa, they're finally back home. Seems like they've been on the road for a while. Columbus is coming into town. 6.5 is going to be your number, minus 118 for the over, minus 102 for the under. Jackets are plus 195 on the money line, minus 238 for the Lightning. Their goalies tonight, Merzlikins is in goal for Columbus, and Vasilevsky gets the call for the Bolts. Steve back home off a long road trip. I think that's one of the games you have to be careful with. They just went through that shootout there with Buffalo, and not the easiest task with how Columbus is playing right now either. Is this the night that we see a over Tuesday night? I think it could be over 6.5 again would be my call. But Steve, I think that there is a chance to take Columbus on the money line at a nice plus 195 number.
Yeah, they're paid nice, Dave. Like you said, I like a goal scorer in this game as well. I think we can see some goals. Werenski is at plus 400 for a goal in this game. That's a great number for a goal scorer. So I'll go ahead and chalk him on to my list as we get to that later on as well. And you might be right. This could be a night of overs. I'm going to really haven't thought about that angle, but I'll think about it a little bit more as this show goes along here. To me, this is Columbus or pass. I'm going to be wary of the Lightning a little bit after that loss. And probably a bad loss, really, on Sunday, considering they had the lead very late in that game and still blew it in regulation.
Yeah, 2-goal lead at that, too.
Yeah.
All right, yep, that's definitely understandable, Steve. I like it. All right, here's a big game tonight. Big for LA with where they're at. Big for Boston with where they're at. And it's big for a couple other teams in the East as well. So a lot of eyes on this game. LA is in Boston to take on the Bruins. 5.5 is going to be your number here, minus 135 for the over, plus 114 for the under. Kings are going to be plus 136 on the money line, while the Bruins are a minus 162. Your goalies tonight here: Swayman in goal for Boston and Darcy Kemper in goal for LA. So both teams got their starters out in a very important game. I think they both have to know that. But here's the thing, Steve. Boston, they just don't lose at home right now. So it's really kind of hard to go against that. LA coming out east. So that's their East Coast trip. Give me Boston.
Back-to-back.
Yeah, back. Yep, absolutely. Give me Boston minus 162 on the money line.
Yeah, I think I like Boston here. And again, I think you're right, too. I wouldn't play them on the puck line, per se, because the Kings seem to keep everything kind of close. But minus 160 if you want to add that to the Carolina and Sabres money line tickets. Now you're getting plus 250 maybe we find a couple more to add to this list to stretch it towards 10-1 or so. But I tend to lean with Boston at home here. They've been fantastic at home. Let's see. We have the Bruins 24-8-1 at home this season.
Yeah, it's just hard to go against that, Steve.
You got to give the Kings credit. 16-8-7 on the road. How about How about the Kings getting points in overtime? 14 overtime games. 14 overtime losses for the Kings is what it is. They played more. They played more than that. But the Kings getting as many points as Pittsburgh and Vegas, who both are shared a lead with 14 points in overtime. So credit the Kings; they at least play you close, and they get rewarded for it. So
yeah, I mean, hey, get your points. That's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
All right, so here's one that may get out of hand here. Toronto is traveling to Montreal to take on the Canadiens. 6.5 is your number here, minus 130, plus 110 for the under. You got the Maple Leafs coming in at plus 142 on the money line. The Canadiens minus 170 at home. Goalies are Joseph Woll in goal for the Leafs and Dobesh in goal for the Canadiens. And Steve, I think in my eyes, you can name your price here with the Canadiens. The Maple Leafs, that's just a season of disappointment for them. Team that everybody thought was going to be much better. It just has not worked out for them this year. And sometimes it's that way. And you have Montreal battling for, playoff position. So I name your price here with Montreal. I would take them 3.5 team total, a 60-minute line, maybe even a puck line here, but give me the Canadiens.
That's the one game that stuck out to me for the most part when I looked at the slate was Montreal. Toronto has lost 7 in a row. They have packed it in for the season. You get the feeling Montreal has everything to play for, and they would love nothing better than to pile on to the Maple Leafs here with these two Canadian rivals. So, yes, Montreal, if you want to add them to the list of teams at home that could win tonight with the Bruins, Carolina, and the Sabres, I mean, this looks like a real nice parlay growing so far. We're at plus 466 with these 4 teams at home. But I got 1 or 2 other ones as we go that can beef this one up. We're going to, you don't usually win 6-game parlays, but we're going to take a chance tonight.
All right. I like it. Detroit is in Florida to take on the Panthers. Your number here is going to be 5.5, minus 125 for the over, plus 105 for the under. How about this? We have basically a push here on the money line, minus 110 for the Wings, minus 110 for the Panthers. Let's see here with some goalies. Gibson is going to be in goal for Detroit, while Tarasov is going to be in goal for the Panthers. Steve, this might be a good one for a pass. I'm going to take Detroit at 2.5 team total goals. I'm wondering what the Panthers have. I know, not mathematically eliminated, but now there's no Brad Marchand. He may be shut down for the year. It's going to definitely be a couple weeks. So you got to figure if they keep falling out of position, he's going to get shut down. I'm just wondering what they have, for a team that's in third place in their division. 2 points really puts them in the conversation for first place in the division. So I got to think the effort is going to be more so here with the Red Wings. So give me 2.5 goals for the Red Wings.
I like Detroit. I like that angle, Dave. Just 2.5 goals. And I'm going to have to play around with some of these team goal numbers as well. I love Detroit in this game. I was thinking Florida would kind of come out and kind of give us this post-Olympic type of surge, right? You got the feeling that they'd come out and kind of show you that, we're Florida. We're going to try to make this one last stand here. That's what I expected. They're 3-7 now in their last 10. So that has not happened. And we will see a new Stanley Cup champion this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
Steve.
so give me Detroit. Yes, give me Detroit.
Yep.
I'll take them straight up on the money line. I'll throw Detroit. That's going to be the risky one, but that's going to choose.
There you go. Yeah. I like it.
Parlay up a little bit, and we're getting closer to 10-1 now. Not quite. I'm going to add one more to it. On the same premise, we'll get to this game in a minute, but it's going to be on the same premise of the Panthers not playing well.
All right. Yeah, I like that ticket growing there. Calgary is in New York to take on the Rangers, so we got a back-to-back situation for the Flames. Neither of these two teams making the playoffs, so I got to wonder really what the motivation is going to be in this game. 5.5 is your number, minus 130 for the over, plus 110 for the under. You got the Flames coming in plus 105 on the money line, while the Rangers are a minus 125. Your goalies tonight are going to be Jonathan Quick in goal for the Rangers. Yikes. He did not have a good showing last time. Dustin Wolf in goal for Calgary. I never thought I'd say it because Quick is he's a champion, maybe a future Hall of Famer, but getting older. So that's usually not a good mix here in this league. Steve, this is going to be a pass for me.
A pass for me too, Dave. Calgary is on the back-to-back. How about this? If you're a season ticket holder for the Rangers and you pay all that money, and you're probably paying, I would say if you're in the lower bowl, it's going to be upwards of somewhere around, $500 a game, maybe even closer to 1,000, depending on how good your seats are. So season tickets just for one seat, you got to figure are somewhere between $20,000 to $40,000. If that's what you've invested in, you've seen 8 wins by the Rangers at home all season.
Oh boy, there are not some happy fans there.
Better on the road. 17, 15, and 2 on the road. 8, 15, and 6 at home.
Not even 10 games on the year at home.
And they can't score amongst the most of the teams in the NHL have scored over 200 goals at this point in the season, at least in the East. The East is a lot more. They scored a lot more than like you said, than teams over in the West, maybe specifically the Pacific. But the Rangers, just 175 goals scored.
Yeah, that's just not good. That's not going to get it done. All right, here's an interesting game. The Islanders are in St. Louis to take on the Blues. 5.5 is going to be your number here. Minus 108 for the over. Minus 112 for the under. We got the Islanders minus 125 on the money line. Plus 105 for the Blues at home. We have goalies. Joel Hofer in goal for St. Louis. I don't love that going against the Islanders. And Sorokin in goal for New York. So matchup there for the Islanders, much better. Steve, give me the Islanders team total of 2.5 here as well. I think you can take them on the money line. St. Louis is playing a little bit better, I believe. So I don't know if I want to go with that 2-1 puck line. I would take a minus 125 money line and 2.5 for the Islanders tonight.
I like the angle with the 2.5. I think I can get on board with that. The Blues, you wonder where their psyche is. They trade their captain, and I think the locker room has rallied around that just a bit. They've won 4 in a row now, 6-4 in their last 10. They haven't been playing the worst. They just beat Anaheim down bad, 4-0 on Sunday night. And now they return home, which can, like you said, can be a tough spot, that first game back home when you're all comfortable in your bed. And this is going to be a pass for me, but I do like the angle of 2.5 goals for New York.
Yeah, understandably so on the pass there. That is a tough one to kind of figure out. It's kind of the same way with this one, to be honest with you. The Vegas Golden Knights are in Dallas to take on the Stars. 5.5 is going to be your number here. -130 for the over, +110 for the under. Vegas is going to be +130 on the money line, while the Stars are -155 favorite at home. Your goalies tonight: Jake Oettinger in goal for Dallas, Aiden Hill for Vegas. Matchup much better for Dallas goalie wise. You know what? If we're going to take something here, give me the Dallas Stars on the money line. Let's just not get cute with two Western playoff teams here. So Dallas money line for me, Steve.
Yeah, one of the better games of the night. I'm not ready to completely crap on Vegas. Like I talked about them conceding the division at some point. And like you said, they can reclaim that at any moment now. This will be a pass. Good hockey game. I think I want to stay away for now.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Dallas is really hot, though.
Yeah, they are. And they're at home, so I'll give them a money line. Tough game for Utah tonight. They are in Minnesota to take on the Wild. 5.5 is going to be your number here. -135 for the over, +114 for the under. We got Utah coming in at +130 on the money line, while a -155 favorite at home for the Wild. And I do like the way the Wild have been. This is an interesting game here. I don't have any goalies listed. Steve, I think, boy, this is a tough one. Maybe some better plays on the board here. Give me a pass.
Yeah, I just feel like the Utah answers the bell every time they're kind of challenged in this sort of a way. And as much as the Wild have been good, there are times where I trust them a little too much and they let me down. So I'll pass on this. Wild will probably win this game, maybe 3-2, something like that. But I would not expect some sort of a walkover here against Utah. So
it ain't gonna be an easy one, that's for sure. Yep. All right, the Ducks, they are in Winnipeg to take on the Jets. This could be another tricky one here. 6.5 is going to be your number at +102 for the over, -122 for the under. Ducks coming in at a +110 on the money line, while the Jets are the -130 favorite at home. Yeah, let's check out the goalies here for this one. Hellebuck in goal for the Jets, and Dostal is in goal for the Ducks. You know, I like the goaltending matchup in Winnipeg's favor, but man, I just think the Ducks could go on the road and get it done. Give me the Ducks +110 on the money line.
Winnipeg's been winning. Now, this is going to be my other pick to the parlay, and maybe this is where it goes to die. The Winnipeg has been winning, and I've been trying to jump on their train a little bit, but it hasn't been pretty. I mean, they've been having to win in overtime. They've been winning some ugly games. They are streaking right now as well, too, winning 3 in a row, 5-2-3 here in their last 10. But offensively challenged still, and I think Anaheim has enough here to win this game on the road. This is a good type of playoff litmus test here, I think, for the Ducks. Let's go on the road. Winnipeg's kind of down, but they're trying to put a slate surge together. We know they're probably not as bad as their record. They are a playoff team of recent years, maybe just down on their luck for the most part this year. But if we can win this game and we're Anaheim, that makes us feel a lot better going down the stretch, getting a nice road win against a team that's trying to claw and fight. I'm going to take the Ducks. I'm going to trust they're going to be able to get this done on the road here. I won't take them any specific super fashion. And maybe 2.5 goals is the right way to go about it. But I'm going to just trust them on the straight money line here.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, we'll see what happens. That's an interesting game, so maybe one to keep an eye on
if we do
as well.
If we do the parlay, Dave, now that we got it figured out here, let me make sure I got everyone involved. Okay, so we got 6 teams. We got Buffalo straight up, Carolina straight up, the Bruins straight up, Montreal straight up, and then the two teams that we're going to try to risk it with are Anaheim and Detroit. And let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see. Something's weird here. Let me clear this and replug it back in. So Anaheim, Carolina, right? Detroit, Boston, Buffalo, and Montreal. All that is paying 21-1 on
Interesting
the play. So $50 can win you over $1,000 tonight on those 6 teams.
Nice. I like it.
And really,
yeah, go ahead and fire that.
I think your hardest ones are Detroit and Detroit over Florida and Anaheim over Winnipeg, which might not be that hard.
Right. I mean, yeah, those are maybe the 2 question marks.
Right.
That's a nice ticket. I like it. Nashville is in Seattle to take on the Kraken. This is actually an interesting game here, playoff wise. 6.5 is going to be your number here. That's surprising to me. Plus 114 for the over, minus 135 for the under. Both teams plus 110 on the money line. So that tells you what kind of game this is probably going to be. No goalies listed as of right now. Steve, give me the under 6.5 at minus 135. I mean, that just looks like the obvious thing that jumps out here. So I'm going to take the under.
Yeah, I'm going to take a pass on this one, although the under does look good. I'll pass.
All right. Last game of the evening. So here we are coming in just after 7. So we'll get you out of here for these 7:10 puck drops. The Oilers taking on the Avalanche. This one's in Colorado. This is your late game. 6.5 is your number here. Minus 155 for the over. Makes a lot of sense. Plus 130 for the under. Plus 145 on the Oilers money line. Minus 175 there for the Avalanche. Let me see some goalies here. Connor Ingram in goal for Edmonton. Mackenzie Blackwood there for the Avalanche. And, you know, Steve, I think this is let's just round off the night with a Colorado 2.5 team goals. I know it's not a crazy good number, but I think the Avalanche with 3 goals at home is the nightcap there. So give me the team total, Colorado.
I like that angle, Dave. I'll pass, but I see your team goal angle. I like it.
All right, so that is the slate. Steve, do you have do we have any Sounders?
Yeah, I do. I got the penalty box at least. Here we go. I think I do. I had it at least. Hold on a second. Referee. Where'd the referee go? I know this is exciting radio, Dave. Here we go.
Enthralling.
We at least get the goal scorer horn. How about that?
All right, there you go.
What do you got for goal scorers, Dave?
All right, I'm gonna go with a modest goal scoring play tonight. Give me Cole Caulfield for the Canadians. Give me Kaprizov for the Wild, and then we're gonna go with the same game parlay of McKinnon and McDavid, and we're gonna come out with just under 21-1 odds.
All right, go ahead and give me. I'll look at the teams who I think will have success at home here. I'll take Morgan Geekie plus 180. I'll jump on his train, see if he can't get his hot hand going once again. We'll go ahead and take. Tage Alex Tuck. I'm sorry, at plus 160, and then we'll go ahead and take my man Rowinski at 400. at 4-1 odds, and all that's going to pay 35-1. So Geeky, Tuck, and Rorwinski.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. I especially like the Rorwinski call. That's a great number for him, and he can certainly score. That's for sure. All right, Steve. One last order of business here. Who you got into the penalty box?
Let's see here. I mean, we talked about Toronto being as bad as they are. I mean, Vancouver, they went into the penalty box last week. They haven't disappointed. They've lost a couple games in a row now. Let's see here. I mean, I'll just state the obvious. And then Toronto, I mean, I think you can pile on this team the rest of the way out.
Yeah, I think so, Steve. I was going to pick Toronto as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're on the same page there.
I think if there's another team that can kind of fall apart some more down the stretch. I mean, how about Florida? We throw them in there.
Oh, definitely. Oh, they could definitely go in there.
Yep.
All right, so Toronto. We'll go with Toronto and Florida. We got a little two-man penalty box there. All right, so Steve, we got some goal scores. We got a nice little ticket built. So I think we found some pretty good stuff here in a long list of games. So programming notes, do we get some paycheck this week or what's happening here at the broadcast?
Yeah, we get some Friday soccer paycheck on Friday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll talk about the championship and the English Premier League. Just missing out on a ticket this afternoon. I think I hit 3 of the 4 picks that I had. So almost swept the board there. Not quite. Thank you to the viewers tonight. Got a few comments. Haley Bashires, nice picture of her golden retriever. She says, hello. Kayla Leo -J7D says, hello. She loves watching hockey. Let's see. Daniel Barris, a sports highlight, says happy Tuesday. What's up, guys? FedEx VX says hello. What are you doing? So hello, guys. Let us know where you are listening from. We'd love to hear that part next time you mention us. But thanks for tuning in.
All right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. We love to hear that. So, Steve, nice NHL Tuesday night. We got some puck drops. Let's go ahead and get on out of here, and we'll reconvene next Tuesday. I'm sure we'll have plenty more to talk about.
Yep. All right. Good luck, Dave.
Good luck.